Well, welcome everyone to this session. I'm assuming that you're here because you want to learn and not just because the other sessions were filled up, right? Yeah? Okay, there's a couple too many laughs there. Maybe it was. But let's talk about guest feedback. Let's talk about how there is a better way. First of all, let's talk about what are we doing here in the restaurant industry. When we talk about the ingredients, the training, the branding, the ambiance, what is all of that for? Why do we put so much time and effort into these things? What are we trying to do? What's it for? Right? It's all to create a great guest experience. But let's talk about that guest experience. What percentage of first-time customers don't come back? Are we thinking maybe 20, maybe 30? Maybe if you're really, really good, 15, right? 70. 70% of your first-time customers are not coming back because the guest experience isn't up to par. You want to know what part of the guest experience? I'm sure you do. But we make it so hard for them to tell us, right? So let me introduce myself to you. My name is Zack Oates, founder and CEO of Ovation. I had an interesting upbringing. My father was a professional athlete. My mother was a model. I unfortunately got my dad's looks and mother's athletic ability, which meant that I got into startups, but I had a lot of fun. My very first job was actually at Friendly's. Who here knows Friendly's? Yeah, we gotta love that peanut sauce, right? So anyway, first job was at Friendly's. I went on to do tech, and that's me that's me jumping in front of the NASDAQ bell. And if anyone's interested, it is just an iPad, and it says press here. It's a little scary that that's what the world runs on. But Ovation, we were voted the #1 guest feedback tool in a open-ended questionnaire by restaurantowner.com. We work with some great mid-market enterprise brands. I do a lot of speaking all around. For those of you who know Sean Walchef, do you guys know him? Cali Barbecue. Love Sean. Check him out. He is a must follow. And also, I have a podcast called Give an Ovation, where we interview industry experts to share their secrets to help grow your restaurant. And a little known fact about me is I have a book called Dating Never Works Until It Does. I went on over 1,000 dates before I got married. What's up, Alan? And nothing to do with the book or anything, just he walked in and waved. So I am very passionate about relationships and about how not to mess them up. And so I'm going to share with you some of those ways because I pretty much have messed up everything. So when it comes to guest experience, let's talk about guest experience. What does that mean? And how do we measure that? Well, if you look at the current solutions, it sucks. You've got long surveys, you've got online reviews, and nobody wants to be this person, right? So what do we do? Well, let's first talk about long surveys. When you talk about long surveys, here's part of the issue. I want everyone in here who loves taking long surveys to raise their hand. Guess what? Your guests feel the same way. Nobody likes taking a long survey. And when they do, you want to know the #1 reason they take the long survey? Oh, because they're mad, or they want to get something for free. Now, I don't know about you, but me basing my business decisions off of people who want something for free and people who are mad, that doesn't seem to be a great model to get accurate data from my guests, right? To figure out what's actually happening. So next, you've got online reviews. Well, online reviews, all this is pretty much doing is screwing you guys over. Why? People are 3 times more likely to leave a negative review than a positive review. And if you're trying to collect the online reviews to get accurate, actionable data, your locations on average are getting 6.4 reviews per month. Does that give you accurate data? Probably not, which is why on each of your tables you'll find this little pen. It's not a pen, it's a little James Bond pen. If you rattle it around, there is it's a little screwdriver set. Because you know, this is gonna be the only swag item you're gonna reach for in 2 weeks. Because you're gonna go home, put this in your drawer, which this is TSA safe, especially for our friends in Canada, right? You don't wanna get caught at the border. So, stop getting screwed by online reviews. We got this to remind you of that. Who doesn't leave an online review? 99% of your customers. right? Online reviews for people who had a transcendently good or a somewhat bad, right? Only Psychopaths leaves 3-star reviews. So the last thing you could do is a table touch. And everybody knows how a table touch works, right? You're sitting down, you go up, and you say, how was everything? And if it was good, they say, it was good. And if it was bad, they say, it was good. And then go leave you a 1-star review, right? It's not scalable, it doesn't work off-prem, it's not fixing the root issues, it's not honest. So if we have these 3 things, the question is, what works? If it's not a long survey, if it's not an online review, and if it's not a table touch. That's why there's digital hospitality. There's a new way to do things. There's a way that's easy for you, easy for your guests, easy for your locations. First step is you want to make that measurement frictionless. So Ovation, we've got over 50 integrations where we can automate a text message to ask about how was everything, or QR codes. If you are not using QR codes right now, whether or not you ever use Ovation, please use QR codes for your bag stuffers. Right? It costs you pennies, and you can convert customers over, especially for third-party guests, right? And then it just goes to a very simple survey. How was everything? Don't barrage them with a ton of questions. At Ovation, we do 2 questions. We've done a bunch of research, and we found that 2 is the magic number that's going to get people excited and get them willing to take a survey, okay? Not 5, not 10, not 50, 2. Now, what do you do with that data? If a guest is happy, then, and here's an example of like a survey from Mobetta's. Hey, Jane, thanks for coming to Mobetta's today. We always try to do our best. Would love to hear how we did with this order for you. Can you please answer 2 questions about your experience? I'll even enter you to win a $100 gift card, okay? Then what do? If they love it, awesome. Go to Google, go to Yelp, buy a gift card, place a catering order, buy merch. Activate those happy customers. Don't ask them another 50 questions. Get them to drive revenue for your locations. Because you want to know why so many guest feedback programs fail? Who's actually the one implementing it? Who's the last mile? It's the locations, right? Well, if the survey, if the only thing it's doing is letting you oversee what's going on, letting you get them in trouble, are they excited about that? Is that something that sounds fun for them? No. But if you can get it to drive revenue for them, help the locations, improve the online reviews, drive orders, that's what's making these programs stick. Now, if they didn't have a good experience, we're going to ask them about it privately. That's going to go directly to your manager's app, and in 3 clicks, they can respond to that guest. The guest will then just get a text message. They don't need to download, log in, create an account. It's very simple, and there's a very easy coupon code to see when they come back, right? So now we're making it easy for that guest to respond. We're automating that ability for them to come back and to track that. We have one of our customers, they were using an online contact us form, right? They got online, someone would come in, complain to corporate would send it to the location would then email back the guest, BCC corporate, and then after that guest would respond back with an address, they would get a coupon, put it in an envelope, and mail it to them. That was the process. And I hate to break it to you, or maybe this is going to make you feel better about things. I have heard that same exact process from over a dozen large companies, that's how they do their guest feedback. Team, there's a better way. There's an easier way. Now, the question that often gets asked, all right, well, let's say I'm only doing these 2 questions. Then I'm not getting the data I need to improve my locations. I don't know if you've heard, but it is 2023, team. AI is all around us. There's easy ways to do this. And so what we do at Ovation is we pull in all of the public reviews, Google, Yelp, Facebook, TripAdvisor. We pull in all of the Ovation feedback, and we analyze that and we break it down into 34 scores for every location. So you know exactly what to improve where. And then if you have follow-up questions, for example, you want to know if someone is vegan, you want to know about a specific menu item, these questions come the next day. And the next day questions will get over a 50% completion rate, meaning that you will get more long surveys completed doing it this way than if you start with a long survey. So if you want the data and you want to understand how to do it, there's better ways than starting with these long surveys. And the powerful thing for your locations is that every single survey that's completed ends up being data collected that they could use for marketing, that they can use for third to first party conversion. So for example, there's a Domino's location. We work with a lot of Domino's, and there's one specific large franchise that was having an issue with a specific location. They didn't know what the issue was or why they were having that issue. So they ended up using Ovation, and we found out that they were having issues with food prep in this specific location. And not only did we break it down to food prep, but we were able to show them all of the online reviews, all of the Ovation feedback, talking about overdone, underdone, too much sauce, uneven toppings. And as a result, they went and they did training, and complaints went from 28 a week to 3 a week. In that same time frame that they were improving this, their online reputation, they 3x'd the number of 5-star reviews they had. They went from a 3.3 to a 4.5 stars in 4 months. Now, the end result of all of this, there's 2 goals that everyone at this conference has, right? It's either going to be increase sales or decrease expenses, right? At the end of the day, we want to make more money. Am I right? So here's how that worked out. We got put to the test. Domino's put us in. They put us in 5 locations. They put us in 5 locations, and they didn't put us in 5 locations. Same cities, same marketing budget, same teams that were running them, around the same sales, and in 4 months, the ones without using Ovation increased revenue 2%. The ones using Ovation increased in revenue 11%. And again, this was a totally blind case study that we wanted to find out, are we driving revenue? And the answer is yes. If you're improving the guest experience, if you're increasing those reviews, if you're bringing back happy customers, this ends as revenue, right? So if you want to learn more about digital hospitality, you don't have to fill anything out. You could just scan this QR code and it goes right to the ebook that'll show you how Stickies use this platform to get 5,500 opt-ins, convert 32% of their third-party guests to first-party, and save 420 customers. And that's not even a joke. It really was 420. If you know Stickies in New York, great brand, awesome chicken, 420 just really fit the bill with them. But download this ebook, find out what they did, and if you have any questions, you can scan the flyer on the table. That'll actually text message me if you complain through that QR code, so feel free to do that. And use those little screwdrivers. Remember, if you get stopped at TSA, remember, SMG gave those to you, okay? All right, thank you guys.